Look at these strange holes in the ground. What do you think they are? Let's start with the fact that this structure is almost 3,000 years old and was built before the Persian-Greek War, about 300 years earlier. The structure is called a Kariz, or Qanat, or aqueduct, and is located in the city of Qanat, which is in modern Iran. The construction of an aqueduct is one of the ways to use underground water, which was created by the ancient Iranians. The structure demonstrates the intelligence and ancient civilization of Iran. Aqueducts built in Iran are underground structures that are still used in many critical and low-water areas. These structures have inspired many countries to supply water over time. Historical records show that the technology of making aqueducts from Iran gradually spread to other parts of the world, examples of which can be seen in the East in countries such as Afghanistan, India, and China, and in the West in North African countries such as Morocco, Algeria, and Libya. Research shows that the inhabitants of these lands usually settled in areas where it was possible to build an aqueduct. The Qanat is considered one of the greatest inventions of that time. This water supply system is able to collect water from underground horizons and transport it to cities and irrigation canals. Thanks to this, Persia was able to exist and develop in arid climates. The hydraulic system includes a main well that receives water from the underground horizon, a system of tunnels through which the water is transported to a specific location, and vertical wells for ventilation along the entire route, which also allows for condensation of moisture. In addition, the underground aqueduct significantly reduces the evaporation of precious moisture. The length of the Qanat Kariz is 33,000 meters. It contains 427 depressions for water. The structures were built using knowledge of the laws of physics, geology, and hydraulics, which only confirms the high level of development of the Persians. Since 2007, the Qanat Karez has been included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. A similar method of obtaining water was adopted by many other peoples and is found in Morocco, Algeria, Libya, and Afghanistan. There is also a Kariz in Yevpatoria, in Crimea. It is known that it was built by Armenians a long time ago. 8,000 years ago, irrigated agriculture began to be practiced in the foothills of the Kopedog, using the water of rivers and streams flowing from the mountains. Subsequently, the development of agriculture and steady growth required new water sources, which became Kariz. According to researchers, the first Karezes in the territory of southern Turkmenistan and in the northern regions of Iran appeared in the middle of the first millennium BC. Turkmen legends date the construction of Karezes back to the time of Alexander the Great. Even the ancient historian Polybius reported on the Karezes of southern Parthia, noting that the one who brings spring water to the area, previously unirrigated, is given the entire area for use for 5 generations. And this is no coincidence. A Kariz is a complex hydraulic structure, which is a system of wells connected by underground galleries. The construction of Karizes, the depth of which reached several hundred meters, and the length of the galleries, kilometers, was an extremely labor-intensive business. Moreover, the craftsmen dug wells from the bottom up, which was a very dangerous occupation, because collapses occurred quite often. The construction of one Kariz took years, sometimes even decades, but the water extracted from them irrigated tens of hectares of fertile land. The simplest tools were used to build the wells and the underground gallery: a pick, a small shovel, a protective board, a lamp, a special headdress, a leather bag, a wooden winch, which was used to lower and raise the craftsmen, bags of earth, tools, etc. The depth of the well was determined by the chief master using a simple level, a rope with a weight. The diameter of the wells did not exceed 1 diameter. The height of the gallery usually varied from 1 mm 30 centimeters to 1 mm 50 centimeters. The width reached 80 centimeters. If there was not enough air near the well, a forge was installed and air was supplied to the gallery using a reed pipe. The distance between the wells was about 20-30 meters. It was determined by the master himself. Both the construction of new Karizes and the repair and restoration work required not only great and lengthy labor, but also extraordinary skill and persistence of the Karizgan masters. The masters and their assistants possessed enormous strength. This can be seen at least by the size of the stones, some of which were 120 × 70 × 50 centimeters. In order to lift and especially carefully lay such a block in the masonry, which serves to strengthen the underground galleries, a crane is needed. How our distant ancestors managed to do this is still a mystery. As hydrologists note, the uniqueness of the method of extracting underground waters using Kariz systems is that these structures extract water from great depths using complex chains of underground galleries and vertical inspection wells, bringing the water to the surface of the earth by gravity without using traditional energy sources. Indeed, in foothill and desert areas, Karez were virtually the only source of drinking water. The Turkmens carefully covered the wells with felt, saving them from desert sediments and camouflaging them from enemies. In the Middle Ages, Karez were quite numerous in Turkmenistan. The ruler of Khorasan, Abdullah ibn Tahir, 830 to 840, even instructed experts in religious law, faqiehs, to compile a special guide to Kariz. Author of the 11th century. Gardizi writes that the compiled book, Kitab al-Kuni, Book of Wells, continued to serve in his time, i.e., 200 years after it was written. Unfortunately, the book has not reached our days. It is interesting that one Kariz could serve a large number of people. For example, more than 120 years ago, the Durun Kariz Kuntush and Aynabat supplied water to 95 and 143 households, respectively, and the Kone Murcha Kariz supplied water to 53 households. In some places, people even remember the names of the Kariz masters. Thus, the Janabad Kariz was built more than 160 years ago by Ernazar Karizgan and his assistants. Indeed, the original folk hydraulic engineering has been perfected for thousands of years. And now, when powerful equipment and modern technologies are put to the service of man, this invaluable experience of the past deserves attention and study. It should be noted that the Gonabad system is still in operation, although it was built 20,700 years ago. Today, it supplies water to about 40,000 people, and this is a very impressive figure. As architect and researcher Danashri Mirajkar wrote in a research paper, Ambari lived in ancient Iran for several years before coming to India, and the Iranian aqueduct system inspired him to build the underground canals that he built years later in Aurangabad. The author writes, Ambari studied this system, which the Iranians had invented to solve the problem of water shortage, and later implemented it in Aurangabad with the help of a team of engineers. Having proven its usefulness, aqueduct technology brought water and greenery to other countries around the world, and its effects are evident in many countries, especially Spain, where Muslims lived. In India, the most populous country in the world, the transfer of aqueduct technology helped the people of that land. Aqueduct technology brought water and greenery worldwide, especially in Spain. In India, it helped the most populous country with water transfer. According to historian Sheikh Ramadan, who has studied this water pumping system in depth, the length of these underground canals reached about 4 kilometers, and they have been providing clean water for the past 400 years. Dr. Ramadan says, worldwide, 20% of the Earth's land has natural features suitable for this method. If you want even more interesting stories, subscribe to the channel.